Hi all, welcome back to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're following me right now, I'm Aspie. I'm all about creating mental health and awareness, sharing my life stories with suspicious syndrome, OCD and a lot, along with tips and advice along the way for you all, for your general health versus just your mental health, or just even your everyday messages of hope to give you clarity and understanding of where you guys are at. It's been brought to my attention as we're nearing the end of Autism Awareness Month, and as you know that some of the things wasn't fulfilled, unfortunately, but some of them may come of late as of next month, maybe, of some of the stuff that I was hoping to do and whatnot. But in all fairness, that doesn't matter because obviously, time permitting, maybe I could do a little bit more about, inviting people onto my channel if they wish to or not. No pressure there. So, and no further ado, guys, basically, this one's going to be based on the Beauty from Ashes kind of playlistings right now. So, hopefully you'll enjoy this. And hopefully with all the rest of the videos that you're liking them, smash the like button and just show that you're engaging and supporting me through this journey of mine of what I'm sharing with you all, regardless what it may be, sort of thing, as I share you guys with everything that I can of any topics that I can think of. So this one's basically, when is it time to let go of someone, the telltale signs. So hopefully you'll enjoy this and let me know if I've missed out anything, so that we can learn from each other. As we know that letting go of a relationship with someone that we love and care about can be one of the biggest decisions that we have to come to face sometime when the time is right to let that person go, regardless what it may be, how it was with that relationship. Sometimes we tend to, hold on to them for dear life, hoping for something to change, regardless what it is. Letting go of a relationship or a friendship that we did have or still do, maybe of what we care about, is a very difficult task for us to do, regardless of it all. Whether it could be, like I said, a friendship that has gone wrong or gone bitter or what have you, or a significant other with your argument's sake or what have you, or just even a family member that didn't even agree with you, of basically your everyday choices or whatever choice you made to cut ties, so to speak, with it. We naturally do not want to bring any hurt upon them or even upon ourselves, regardless of this matter, but we know then obviously it is the right choice to let go, as we should be able to self-care ourselves and actually look after ourselves and try to learn to be selfish once in a while. Also, we will need to know when it is time to let go, as we should be following it through from our gut instincts as well, and then obviously when we know it is the right time to let go, that we have more peace in our lives, obviously. There are times, however, when we're letting go of someone may be the best thing to do, even when it doesn't feel that good in the present, of what's going on. After all, this is our life, obviously. And only you can make the ultimate decision whether or not that person fits into that life that you want to have build a future upon with yourself or whatever. So as I said, today I'm here for my hope with this video, for anyone that has gone through this or has to go through with this right now, that they will find some clarity and peace through this as I share this with you. I hope that you'll also find yourself again after you do decide, if you did, to do what is right for you, if it's letting go or giving that person a second chance. The choice is yours, however. All the art of living. This is a quote from Havelock Harris I want to share before I go on with the telltale signs. All the art of living lies in a fine mingling of letting go and holding on, is obviously to let go and move on. Obviously, I've not compared, but obviously I correlated myself with 21 signs that I could think of. If there's more, I apologize, but these are how I feel about them, and hopefully that you can respect them. So number one is the person unremittingly breaks your trust. As we know, it's a given reason that we usually tend to build our trust and try to rely on that person. Okay, there is a number of reasons for that matter that trust is number one in an everyday relationship as well as everything else, because trust is the most important element in each and every kind of relationship, be it your family member versus your work colleague versus your spouse versus whoever it may be. As we know, basically also trust is built upon a foundation, as I said before, upon which a relationship will then be built from the ground up. And when it comes down to it, when there is mistrust in that relationship or whatever form of status quo you're in, it will often tend to destroy it. Nothing weakens a relationship more than just being deceitful and lie about certain things of what went down within your relationship and just continue to lie and whatnot. Something to understand here though, when you do trust someone and they continuously break that trust of yours, just remember it's not your fault. It's theirs. Obviously they chose to do this behaviour or action towards you. It's very natural to immediately blame yourself for having to be trusted with someone, so that someone only had to have them break that trust. But don't ever feel that way. Obviously, you know, you obviously didn't deserve it, obviously, and at the end of the day, regardless of them breaking your trust, you know, you can't. What I'm trying to learn now sometimes, as I said before in one of my videos, that you got to remember maybe just to give them a one strike you're out rule sort of thing. Even though many people say that, you know, how can you give them many more chances with a liquid upon the spots will not forever change. Sometimes they say, you know, once cheated, always cheated and stuff. And there's another quote I'm trying to recall about, you know, this trust factor I'm sharing with you all today. But it's only through, you know, experiences that we go through that we will determine whether or not someone is trustworthy. Either way, we will learn a great valuable lesson along the way or add a great relationship within this. Okay, number 2 for the telltale signs the person is too clingy and needy. Yes, I know you may think, okay, what are you sure about this? But obviously it is a given. In each and every good relationship, there will be one person that will be clingy and needy, or the submissive versus dominant and whatever else in the relationship, which is quite fair deal. It's okay to have a submissive and, you know, dominant person to jazz it up with, you know, different types of people. It's one in which you can depend on also on vice versa. Okay. However, too much dependence is obviously a telltale sign of neediness. This is a problem because neediness drains out our time and energy within, you know, the person and ourselves that is necessary to maintain other relationships, as well as trying to do self-care. People that are obviously needy all the time always seems to be coming to you for pampering, favours, money, praise, or anything else for that matter. You may then become or begin to feel that the person is an emotional ball and chain. However, if a relationship begins to develop this way, it may be time to reconsider why you have a relationship like this in the first place when you were with them. You change who you are around that person. You should never feel the need or the desire to have to change or to be another person just to accommodate that other person's needs. It can be exhausting, first of all, believe you me, I've been there, done that, and it is a telltale sign that the relationship is not consensual. There is some element of that individual that doesn't have this jive with the person you are. Whether or not the person verbal satisfaction with you, or you innately know that you must change in order for them to accept you, for comfortable being yourself, which shouldn't be acceptable to you under any circumstances. You shouldn't have to feel less confident than you already are. You should be confident in your own skin. Hearsay on meaning here. And number 3, you should be able to love yourself before loving others and whatnot. I'm hoping to talk more about loving yourself later. Number 4, don't feel positive after talking to or seeing them. Say it again. You don't feel positive after talking to or seeing them. In a positive relationship, in most of the positive relationships you should be in, it should be uplifting, and that you can trust the people that are building up your self-esteem and self-confidence. Sure, there are going to be some rough patches along the way, but it's mostly a constructive experience. You should be accepting of each other, obviously, as well as including yourself, supportive and responsive. If you're at a point where the positive aspects of the relationship is sporadic, it may be time to move on. You may try to come to a point where you actually attempt to avoid the person completely while hoping to maintain the relationship. This may sound absolutely crazy, but many people do it all the time. Maybe they'll get better, they may think to themselves, you know, perhaps then it is not a more functioning or even a healthy relationship. Number 5, they don't actively listen to you. Obviously, as we know, when it comes down to it, communication and listening to each other's needs is important. Attentiveness and awareness when you're speaking is a good sign of the relationship that is going well. A person that values a relationship will make your presence a priority and not a chore, including when you're trying to have a conversation with that person. Sure, some people don't have the best attention spans, but there's no excuse for constantly checking their phone, looking away, talking to other people, and generally displaying apathy when you do tend to speak. It's certainly not acceptable for them to constantly redirect the conversation back onto themselves and talk about themselves, completely disregarding your thoughts and feelings. 6. They don't make the relationship the number one priority. Business is a part of life. Work, kids, marriage, finances, the works. The majority of time is meticulously accounted for. However, when people do value their relationships, obviously this will not allow the fact that they are busy to undermine the relationship. Understandably, the get-togethers and all-nighters are drastically limited. However, with the advent of technology that has been coming our way, comes to the ability to stay connected to each other, even if you cannot hang out at a bar until 2 a.m. anymore. If someone isn't willing to make some time for you, be it a phone call or text, then they are effectively showing indifference. Not a good trait to have in a positive relationship, however. Time to give them the flip. Number 7. You're not able to depend on them. Have you ever been there when a friend needed you the most, only to find or have them disappear when you ask them to reciprocate? If you have, this isn't a pleasant feeling, believe you me. It's downright disheartening. People that are undependable often find an assortment of many excuses on this call or text, that they're too busy or something like this of the out of the blue. However, constant behaviour of this kind usually means one thing: they're not dependable. Someone that's not dependable is generally not with a person worthy of your presence. Number 8. You find yourself forcing someone to care. This is another fate about relationships. The relationships based on freedom to love and care for someone or not. Not everyone whom you hold these feelings for will offer bliss in return, however, just to bear in mind. Genuine relationships are made up of two individuals that have chosen to love and care for each other. It's easy for someone to show up in your life and tell you that they love you. It's much more difficult for them, obviously, to demonstrate this love consistently. Those that choose to remain in your life and steadily demonstrate their love and care with wholehearted acceptance are the type of individuals that you want for your relationship. Number 9, the person isn't consistent in their behaviour. We're not talking about dependability here, as I said before. We're talking about the wish-washy, flaky, general inconsistency of what they do and applying the everyday principles that make up a good relationship, as I've said before: the trust, dependability, acceptance, positivity, attentiveness, and prioritization. Inconsistent behaviors in any of these areas is presented a sign of a negative relationship. As mentioned before, however, only you can decide if the behavior merits a termination of this relationship. Choice is yours, no one else's. People are flawed. Flaws are natural, however. Flaws are a part of our acceptance, however. In fact, however, it's the degree to which a person accepts these flaws and continues to allow them to influence your relationship. It really truly matters. Number 10, they keep making the same mistakes over and over again. When people make mistakes, they make up for those mistakes and learn their lesson. They don't go back to those mistakes over and over again. Otherwise, this entire concept of apologizing for that same mistake the first time becomes completely illogical and wasteful. If you're with someone who keeps hurting you by making the same mistake over and over again, even though you two had talked things out properly the first time, you need to maybe find someone who knows not to hurt you with the same mistakes that was put into place. Number 11, your partner is insanely hard to please. Yes, obviously, believe you me, been there, done that. Even though we shouldn't have to choose to please everybody, no matter what, we should be ourselves, no matter how much effort we put in. Obviously, believe you me, I wasn't happy in myself when I was trying to, please my partners or what have you, or vice versa, just pleasing anyone that came in my circle as a form of relationship or friendship. I devoted my time enough with many people in my life, regardless what it may be, and that needs to be dealt with, obviously. And I felt like sometimes I felt worthless and I wasn't enough for that particular someone. So don't be with someone who fits into that description of what I've just clearly illustrated, because you'll soon start blaming yourself for that other person's problems. Some people just don't want to be happy, and you don't have to waste your time and energy, also your feelings, onto those people. Number 12, your relationship is making you weak. If you were in a relationship where your partner starts making you feel weak, whether it's the person you are, about the person you are, or the lifestyle you live in, you need to let go. Enhance your way of living, and it's supposed to make everything so much better. If it starts going the other way, however, you may need to start walking the other direction. Number 13, your partner constantly complains about you. Being with a hypocritical person is impossible. They make you feel bad about yourself in many ways, every other day, minute, hour, what have you. Don't be with that someone who complains even though you try your best to make them happy. Be with someone who appreciates and cherishes your actions and remembers your efforts regardless of how big or small those efforts are. If you let yourself stay too long with someone who constantly complains, not only you will start feeling horrible about yourself, but you'll slowly start turning into that person who complains a lot yourself. Or given to those vibes. Number 14, your partner doesn't even put any effort into the relationship. Are you with a person who doesn't really make any effort to make this relationship better for yourselves? Who's happy with you as long as you do things for them, and as long as you start complaining that you feel immortal, you feel like the relationship is just becoming one-sided. They start throwing a tantrum, they throw in the towel at you, throw their toys out of their cars, whatever it may be. If yes, you don't need to wait for their eyes to open up and see what a sort of person that they're about to lose. Find someone who does things for you, for your happiness, for your well-being. Being with someone who knows how to make you happy. Number 15, your relationship is holding you back. If you're with someone who keeps holding you back from achieving your goals, from being the person you always wanted to be, from reaching your dreams, goals, visions, everything else in between, you need to move on. It's better to be single than to be with someone who holds you back and down. Number 16, you constantly feel suffocated. Are you in a relationship where you constantly feel suffocated, where you feel like you can't be yourself and can't speak your heart out? In a relationship where any sign of letting yourself be heard has to be just kept inside, locked inside of you because of some of the fear that you have been developed. Believe you me, I guess some of us have been through this. I was one of them, and I know how horrible it feels. You need to be with someone who can fill you with life and energy, not to take it away from you. Just walk away, stop torturing yourself. Number 17, they're constantly trying to change you. Are you with someone who constantly trying to change you in a way of speaking, talking, how you look, where you feel you can't be yourself, who keeps nagging at you about every single thing that represents the person you are and contradicts with your individuality? No one has the power or authority to do so, to make that right, to change you, unless you want to change on your own without any outside pressure. Change comes from within, however. Change definitely doesn't come from love, and love shouldn't change you from the person you are to a person you don't want to be. Be with someone who cherishes you for who you are and what you are, and not someone who isn't happy with the person you are. 18. A few happy moments are making you stay. Are you in a relationship where you constantly have to look back at the few happy moments you had together just to make sure your relationship looks better than it is? A relationship isn't meant to die down with time. It's meant to make you stronger and grow stronger together. Don't forever live in the past. A few happy moments here and there that happen in the beginning don't and can't define your relationship forever. And you're only tired of living in the past with the same person who's with you in the present. Be with someone who you can count the good days as well as the bad days, because you're too afraid. Be with someone who doesn't make you count the good days because you're too afraid of counting the bad days. Number 19. You're waiting for them to change or to become a better person to you. No one has the power to change you, as I said, or the authority to do so, or you giving that permission to them. You don't have the power to change anyone either, however. It goes both ways. If you're with someone who treats you badly and you're just waiting on them to be a better person to change you, don't forever waste your time and emotions on them. A person who is naturally bad won't magically change because of the pain. I've seen only a handful of people actually have changed because they were causing pain to their partners, including myself. Most people don't and just stay the same way they are because they don't care enough, or they just feel afraid to change for themselves. Don't wait for that person to magically start treating you better. Find someone who's like that from the get-go. Number 20. You're in an abusive relationship. Yes, as I said before in one of my videos, I was in an abusive relationship. A verbally abusive relationship. as a matter of fact, as well as the physical. Whenever we used to fight, basically, there will be the cursing, the threats, the screaming, yelling, and whatever. Some of the words did hurt, however, more than the physical pain that I went through. And I still cringe to this day sometimes when I see people go through it, or hear about it, or even I cringe to this day sometimes when I go through certain days. That's why I decided to try and move on. Even if, my advice here, if you're someone who physically does or verbally abuse you, you don't really need that person in your life, and you're better off without them. And that negative energy. Last but not least, number 21, you often find yourself thinking about your ex. If you're in a relationship that's so bad, you actually sometimes think about your ex being better. You're not with the right person. Your ex is your ex for a reason, because you two couldn't make it work. Because the truth of the matter is, between the two of you, you couldn't remain the same. But if your current relationship is actually making you think about that particular someone, then you need to find someone who can bring you out of your past totally, utterly, completely. Well, this ends basically when it's time to let go of them. The telltale signs, give me a like for thumbs up for support, comment below, follow me on my social media sites listed below. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Feel free to follow, turn on the notification bell so you can keep up to date with what Aspie's up to. Feel free to share these videos around to family and friends. Do what you love what you do. Thanks for support, thanks for watching. Aspie out, and out, and I'll see you again.